like either my mom's gonna and I'm not gonna be in the room and I'm gonna feel the guilt of that for the rest of my life, or I'm gonna be there and see this image of my mom and that I will never get out of my head. So like what I do.
I mean, I was in such shock, I have to say. I was not expecting it at all, and
making headlines again after a weird footage from the late 90s resurfaced.
All right, brace yourselves for this one. Demi Moore's daughter just put her mom on blast, exposing her as the biggest creep in Hollywood. And trust me, the details she's dropping are wild. Is this just a family drama, or is Demi hiding some skeletons in her Hollywood closet? Let's unpack it all. But that's not the first time the Willis girls have talked about how their mom's dark secrets have impacted their lives, which makes everyone wonder, what secrets does Demi hide? Could it be any worse than whatever Diddy's kept hidden until he was arrested? Well, let's dig deeper into the details. So, on Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk, Rumor and Tula Willis shamelessly opened up about their anxiety-ridden childhoods, exposing their mom's influence in their lives.
Totally did.
Like he's a hot-looking dude. I mean,
he was one of many on the wall, but
right.
I just was so fascinated with why is it being seen as like obscene?
While everyone is wondering why an adult is kissing a child, people are saying it's a pattern with Demi.
okay, one more time.
Now get this, it is totally inappropriate for Demi to be kissing a child. And if you think it's okay, what would happen if the roles were reversed and it was an older man kissing a 15-year-old girl in that way? I guess y'all are disgusted by the mere thought. But right now, it's quite clear that Demi has always loved younger boys and men, and here's why. Apart from kissing her 15-year-old co-star Philip Tanzini, Ashton was 15 years younger than her when they got married. Yep. And that's not to mention her steamy relationship with Sean Friday, who was 24 years younger than her, and Daniel Hum, who was 15 years younger than the actress. Well, it all makes sense now why Demi, at 41, comfortably got married to Ashton, who was 25 years old. So a mic-dropping moment came when Demi revealed what it was like growing up under her mother. And y'all will be shocked to learn that Demi was raped by a man who paid her mother $500 when she was 15 years old. According to her, she felt both traumatized and betrayed by her mother as a teenager. Now, Demi didn't just drop on a man's lap. It all started when her mother took her to bars as a teenager so that men would notice them. And yeah, her mother's plan worked. She's 15 years old when she comes home one night and an older man they know is in the apartment with the key. She said it was and a devastating betrayal revealed by the man's heartbreaking question, how does it feel to be by your mother for $500?
Do you believe she sold you?
I think in my deep heart, no. I don't think it was a straightforward transaction, but she still did give him the access and put me in harm's way.
But here's the kicker. Demi and Ashton co-founded Thorn, Digital Defenders of Children, dedicated to helping children who have been trafficked or exploited. And sincerely, it would make so much sense if she founded the organization alone because she was exploited as a child, but with Ashton? Oh no. Now we've heard about some shady stuff Ashton has done in the past, especially his relationship with Diddy. For instance, Ashton and Diddy invited a 13-year-old Davy Chase to an MTV Awards after party, and although we cannot tell if Davy attended the party, we know certainly that she sort of disappeared from Hollywood. Since then, people have been pointing fingers at Ashton and Diddy for Davy's fall in her career. And now Ashton and Demi are co-founders of a child trafficking organization dedicated to helping the same children they invite to an after-party? Well, everyone's wondering if Demi is involved or aware of the people who abuse these same children they claim to save and help.
You got Ashton Kutcher in love with Mila Kunis on that 70s show. Then they break up for absolutely no reason after he starts hanging out with Diddy. Then he marries Demi Moore, who drained him of all the adrenochrome she can, and apparently he replenished himself by doing inappropriate things with her daughters.
Let's dig deeper about Demi Moore, because wow, her life hasn't been as picture perfect as it seemed. Behind all the Hollywood glamour, she's been dealing with anxiety and addiction for years, and it's way more complicated than anyone ever imagined.
It came forward for me was how did I get here? I mean, from where I started to what I've experienced, where I've been, like, how did I get here? I lost me.
Interestingly, Demi claims her addictions and poor relationship outcomes were as a result of her own dark past and all she had to deal with to become who she is today. During her interview on the Red Table, Demi revealed that apart from her addiction to substances, she was addicted to Ashton too.
In the codependency, like my addiction to Ashton, and that was probably almost more devastating because it took me seriously away emotionally.
She also explained how after 20 years of sobriety, she relapsed while on a vacation with Ashton, adding that her desire to be that girl for Ashton triggered her addiction to alcohol at the moment. But that's not all. Demi revealed how dysfunctional Ashton was when she spilled the beans on Ashton, forcing her to have threesomes. In her own words, Demi said, "I put him first, so when he expressed his fantasy of bringing a third person into our bed, I didn't say no. I wanted to show him how great and fun I could be."
You know, those are the guys that have to stand up and say, no, real men don't buy girls.
Anyways, in her memoir, Inside Out, Demi opened up about her shady past, including her own mother's multiple attempts on her own life, which led to her addiction, anxiety, eating disorders, insomnia, and PTSD. Well, y'all know the saying that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? Well, that became the case of Demi and her daughters, who later became affected by their mother's addictions, anxiety, and PTSD. Yeah, you heard that right. As if warning everyone before encountering them, Demi said in her own words that addiction is in the history of her family. Well, I've got to say, that's some deep reveal there. Interestingly, Rumor also confessed during her and her mom's interview at the Red Table Talk episode about how her self-esteem was damaged by her mom's poor image of herself. According to Rumor, she felt unloved no matter what she did to change or improve her outward appearance. That's not to mention how she was constantly bullied by gossip magazines for her appearance while growing up as a celebrity kid.
How I look, what I weigh, like how my hair looks, and whatever the outside reflection is, there's something innately about me that I have to earn love from people and like constantly prove myself.
Now, Rumor dropped another bombshell about her mom. She said it was weird when her mom started dating Ashton Kutcher in 2003 during her interview with Howard. According to her, Ashton was her childhood crush, even to the point of having his pictures everywhere in her room. And when her mom got hitched to Ashton, Rumor felt betrayed even at a young age. She said she never opened up to her mom about how she felt seeing her married to Ashton. However, she mentioned it to her sister.
I feel like I told my sister that at some point. I was like, man, all right, well,
That's Ashton Kutcher.
Gotta cross him off the list.
I wanted him.
Well, Rumor was deeply hurt watching her mom get involved with the person she secretly fantasized about. While she never admitted publicly, it's clear that her mother's love life clashed with her own secret feelings. Although Rumor and Ashton became cool friends and talked about almost everything, including her relationships, she still removed his pictures from her wall, almost as if she needed to consciously remind herself that he was her stepfather now. But that's not all. Rumor couldn't help but give props to her 40-year-old mom for snagging a 25-year-old. Whatever moves she pulled, she was clearly killing it.
No, I mean, I feel like I was kind of impressed. I was like, yeah, girl, get it. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
And in case y'all think her childhood feelings or warm emotions about Ashton were over because of his marriage with her mom, you'd be surprised to learn she still stayed in contact with him even after Ashton got married to Mila Kunis. I mean, she reconnected with her stepdad after he welcomed his first child with Mila. But it wasn't only Rumor whose life was negatively affected by her mom's traumatic experiences. Tula claimed that her mom's so-called strength ended up driving a wedge between their relationship. During the Red Table Talk, Tula said,
I felt like my mom made a choice to hold back certain things from like sharing about her past, and I think that always made me feel very far away from her, and it always made me feel like I didn't know her very well, so like I knew.
And here's the worst part of this story. Tula has had to suffer the same kind of addiction as her mom, and not only that, she's had similar unhealthy romantic relationships like Demi. Tula revealed on the show that she started drinking at the age of 14 during a family vacation, and when it became worse, and she began drinking 3 bottles at a time and taking Rumor's medicines, Rumor kicked her out of her home. According to Tula, by the age of 15, she had almost died from alcohol poisoning. After living by herself for a while, her dad, Bruce Willis, had her relocated to the Beverly Hills Hotel. But being relocated didn't help much as Tallulah's addiction grew worse. Now, Tallula dropped the bombshell and said on the day her dad welcomed his new daughter with second wife Emma Hemming, she had taken codeine and cocaine and her sister, Scout, couldn't wake her up because she had passed out. While it was a horrible incident, even call it a tragedy, the estranged daughters and mother were reunited. I mean, Tallula had to move in with her mother after 3 years of separation. During their discussion on the Red Table, Tallula claimed she had to seek professional treatment for her addiction after moving into her mother's home. Tallula claimed she knew she needed to go take care of herself because beyond her addictions, she was also struggling with depression. According to her, she didn't sleep and she didn't want to talk to anyone. She wrote, "I was so removed from my body and from my mind that it was like I was living in a cardboard replica of what life should be. Not even so much because I was doing drugs, but because I was so sad and so unhappy." Well, Tallula's case brought the entire family together as everyone sought ways to help her become sober again. Interestingly, rumors said that this was the first time in years that the 5 of them, Bruce, Demi, and their 3 daughters, had been together after a long time apart. Also, after enduring such a long time of pain, it looks like Demi's daughters have come to terms with the fact that they'd suffered so much because their mom couldn't love them as much as they wanted. She was suffering too. Demi drew the curtains on her Red Table talk by admitting she didn't treat her mom well. Turns out, her mom was selling stories about her and her daughters to the tabloids. She also realized that distancing herself from her mom made her lose her humanity and compassion. She also shared that she made peace with her mom before she passed and hopes her daughters will cut her some slack and show her a little compassion someday too.
Demi did not speak to her mother for nearly a decade after she sold stories about her daughter and grandchildren to the tabloids. Demi's teenage mom battled addiction and mental illness. During one of her many suicide attempts, Demi used her small fingers to dig the pills out of her mother's mouth to save her life. But much of this pain and trauma, Demi kept from her daughters.
Anyways, what do y'all think about Rumor and Tallula's spill on the Red Table with Jaden Smith? Do you think they're still upset with their mom for being such a creep? And what about Rumor, who once fantasized about Ashton? Do you think she still has the same crush on him?